Y muy bien, vamos a empezar a grabar. We're going to start our recording because there will be folks for sure watching since they cannot be with us today. Un breve anuncio, a really brief notice. Hoy es el 28. Today is first day for registration for winter. Para que sepan, just so you guys know, it is the first day for all the classes that Scottsdale offers for registration. If you're a non-Scottsdale resident, the first day will be tomorrow, the 29th. But today's first day for registration. Same class, Monday class, no worries. If you do the advanced class, I'm still going to do that on Wednesdays, but you don't register for that. That will not be until spring. So, you know, if you still join us on Wednesdays as well, you can continue to do that. You do not need to register for the Wednesday thing. But for Monday classes, you will need to do that online. It's always easiest. Nos quedan, después de hoy, nos quedan dos clases. After today, we have two more classes set up. Yes, wow, it feels like we're ending up kind of early before Christmas, but I think they assume people are taken off for the holidays. So, okay. Bueno, vamos a empezar. Hoy es un día de practicar con mandatos. Today is a command practice day. And of course, a little bit with what happens with those pronouns as well. But you know, what happens with pronouns is somewhat more special or maybe more complicated, un poquito más, a little bit more with the command thing. But we're going to open with something that has nothing to do with commands. It is just a fun thing to know. A fun fact and a quick fun fact. Un momentito.
Pregunta, Marilyn?
Sí, dime.
Somewhere in our course where today on the video that was talking about pardon, or excuse me, and the different format, can we review that a little bit more? Formal and informal as well.
Es la segunda cosa. That is the second thing on my agenda for today.
Okay. Gracias.
Gracias, sí. Okay. Y este es un video que es bastante breve. This is one of those, how do those TikTok things get put onto YouTube? But they do. I think they just transfer them over. Y es breve. Es una palabra, y no es un mandato. It is not a command, but it is one word that you may hear people say. And we're going to see an actual illustration of context. It says, "Oh, miércoles," and we have a poop emoji after the miércoles. That is not your imagination. It is in fact a poop emoji. We'll tell you why. It says miércoles. Como exclamación, as an exclamation, not just a day of the week. Okay, and we're going to show you when you may hear somebody say miércoles and why.
Miércoles. ¿Sabías que la palabra miércoles no es solo un día de la semana? También la puedes usar para expresar dolor, enojo o sorpresa en español.
Puedes expresar dolor, pain. You can express pain, enojo, anger, o sorpresa, surprise, en español. Con la palabra miércoles, with that word miércoles, you can express surprise, anger, or pain.
Miércoles es una alternativa a la palabra mierda, que seguramente...
Okay, she blanked that. Es alternativa a mierda. Mierda literally is shit, yes. Thus the poop emoji. And because miércoles sounds kind of like mierda, yeah, just like people in English will say shoot but they don't really mean shoot. Yeah. Oh, shoot.
I've never heard mercredi in French being used instead of mer.
Yeah. Sí, entiendo. Yeah. But yeah, it is very close to that French word. Is almost the same thing. So.
En algunos contextos no es una buena idea usar.
Yeah, some content. Yeah. So yeah. So in other words, impolite company, you probably don't want to say that. Not in polite company, but yeah. But that idea of showing you slamming your finger in the drawer, that yeah, you know. And of course, for most Spaniards, that is a somewhat more, it is very tame, very tame. I think if you watch the, if you get the movie on Disney Plus, Encanto, they use miércoles in that kind of context as, oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. La segunda cosa, our second item is, ¿y dónde está? Aquí está, aquí está. La diferencia, un repaso. We're going to do a little review now of our little extra, which again, this is one of those brief things. It's not really, strictly speaking, a whole grammar thing, but it's good to know when we use one word or the other. Our little movie from last week, or our little video, and it was kind of long, the different ways for saying sorry. And some of these do use pronouns, don't they? Some of them do not. Depends on how you're saying the word sorry. So, okay, a ver.
Tenemos que usar una y la otra.
In what situations do we use one expression or the other? And you can see the list of words at the top. Lo siento, perdón, perdóname. Oh, we got a command laced in there. Disculpa, which is literally also a command. Lo lamento. So one thing I want to point out, with all these words that can mean sorry or excuse me, yeah, we might use either phrase depending, again, in English, depending on the situation involved. Sometimes they use that word lo. And by the way, when you use this with sorry or excuse me, the lo will always be lo. Always, always. It will never change to a la. It will never change to los or las. It will not change. Yeah, that lo siento or lo lamento, it will always be lo, because lo there is it, does mean it, but it means it in the most general fashion. Sometimes that word lo, instead of referring to, you know, something specific like lo tengo, el ratón, the mouse, lo tengo, I have it. Instead of lo referring to an actual item, often, quite frequently, lo might refer to something abstract. It referring to an activity, it referring to a whole situation. And when we need it to do that job, it always remains just lo, okay? So, cuando usamos...
usarlas a todas como sinónimos, o hay algunas que no podemos usar en otras situaciones. Por ejemplo, podemos usar a todas para interrumpir o para dar una opinión.
Okay, so for example, can we use lo siento, perdón, perdóname, disculpa, lo lamento, to interrupt, to give an opinion, to excuse ourselves? So can you use them all interchangeably? And the answer to that is no, you probably really shouldn't. So here it is in a nutshell. If you just bump into somebody by mistake, standing in line. You step on somebody's edge of their toe by mistake. You know, that little word of just perdón is fine. Perdón is easy because it is not a verb form. It means pardon. Perdón can be used to, very, very broadly to just excuse yourself for something that is super minor. Okay. In public. Perdóname is from the verb perdonar. Perdóname is a command. Perdóname, forgive me. Perdonar really means to forgive. So when we use it not as perdón, the noun, pardon, but as perdóname, it's a little more forgive me. And, you know, again, that can be used in a lot of situations. Again, it can be the, you know, just the excuse me for jostling you as we stand in line next to each other. The usted form of perdóname would be perdóneme, because it's perdonar. Yeah, we change that perdona to a perdone if you're addressing somebody you don't know. So perdóneme, forgive me. Okay. Perdón and or perdóname and disculpa are very close, but with this difference. Disculpa, which again is it's a command, and it comes from disculpar. Again, like a forgive or excuse, but disculpa is very, very frequently used to as an excuse me idea, and very, very frequent to use disculpa to get somebody's attention. Okay, you can use perdón to get somebody's attention, but disculpa, or the usted form, which is changing that disculpa to disculpe, disculpe, right, to somebody you don't know in a shop, in a store. Disculpe is probably the most frequently used word to get somebody's attention, to signal them. Disculpe is the closest to, excuse me, you're just trying to get their attention to ask them about something. So you're not necessarily asking for forgiveness. You could be, but disculpe is, the job of that word is most frequently to grab someone's attention, to signal them that you need to ask something and you need to talk to them. Okay, so perdón, if you accidentally bump into somebody, great. But disculpa, to flag somebody down so that you can ask a question. The words that truly venture into that real I'm sorry category, meaning I really am sorry, meaning I feel bad for you, are lo siento, which literally as I regret it, lo siento, or lo lamento. Lo lamento. Lamentar. English, we have that very fancy word, a lament, which, you know, is somebody, yeah, stressing and lamenting something. They feel bad about something, yeah. So, lo siento and lo lamento are reserved for, you know, when somebody says, estoy muy enferma, lo siento, I'm so sorry to hear that, yeah. So if you bump into somebody saying lo siento is kind of overboard, it's too much, yeah. Lo lamento is like for sure way too much, yeah. But lo lamento, sí, ay, se murió mi perro, ay, my dog died, yeah, oh, lo lamento. Then lo lamento is super appropriate, right? Tuve un accidente con mi carro. I had an accident with my car. Ay, lo lamento mucho. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about that. So when you're expressing, when you're giving sympathy or empathy, empathizing with somebody over a trouble that they have, be it health, something bad that happened in their life, you know, then lo lamento is super, super appropriate. But if you're just, you know, getting up and leaving from the table from a group dinner or something like that, just perdón works. Or even con permiso. Con permiso is excuse me when you get up to leave, like a big group meeting. So that is the difference, the main difference between all those different words. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
See? So we really reserve lo siento and lo lamento for situations where you're really sympathizing with somebody over something bad that happened. But if you just bump into them by mistake, or if you have to get up and leave, or if you need to grab somebody's attention, right? If you're grabbing their attention, disculpa or disculpe.
Marilyn?
Sí.
Pregunta. So if you're, I'm going down, there's a bunch of people in my way and I'm trying to get through.
Right.
Disculpame? What?
They're either perdón or disculpe.
Okay.
Disculpe. And you probably, as a traveler, want to keep it to disculpe. The smiling verb, disculpe, right? Because generally you're talking to people that you don't really know, right? In a store setting, you're standing next to people you don't know. You, somebody calls you ahead, you know, pulls you out of line to work with you on something, right? And you have to kind of jostle between people. Disculpe or perdón is what you need. You don't really need lo siento. Lo siento sounds off in that situation because, yeah, you're just moving ahead and you need to like move through a line of people, say, right? Yeah, disculpe, perdón. Sí.
Would you add the me at the end of disculpe to say?
You can tag on a me. Yeah, discúlpeme, yeah, forgive me, excuse me, yeah. And that's just saying, excuse me, please. Sí, discúlpeme, right. If it's a command, and if you tag on the me, you will tag it on. Discúlpeme, discúlpame, perdóneme, perdóname. Right, you just tag on the me.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
And-
But if you're in a super hurry and you can't remember, just perdón doesn't need any me word. Yeah. Perdón is just perdón. And perdón is really easy. You can associate it with pardon. Yeah. Which we often use when we have to wiggle our way through a line. So perdón doesn't need any verb form. Perdón doesn't need a me tagged on to the end. And that works too. Okay. Otra pregunta. Any other question about that? I thought that was a good one because, you know, quite often we throw in that sorry word.
Otra pregunta. I'm saying to somebody, we don't have any of this or that. When I say lo siento, no huevos.
In what's like you're in a store and you're selling things?
I'm serving food to people. And they say, do you have eggs? And I say, no huevos.
Perdón, no hay huevos. Perdón, no hay huevos. Sí, sí.
Okay, lo siento.
Yeah, lo siento's a little over the top. You know, unless maybe they've got a real dietary thing that is like a health matter that could be grave, you know.
Okay.
Then maybe lo siento, yeah. Tomás, otra pregunta.
When we're using pardon or other commands in this, are we also tagging on por favor at the end, or is the command have enough formality or piece as well? So
if you're tagging on a por favor,
I'm asking, so in your example, I'm saying pardon, I need to pass through the line. Am I
Yeah.
saying?
Perdón, I
pardon?
wouldn't use a por favor. Disculpe, sometimes you do pair up a por favor often with disculpe. Disculpe, por favor. Disculpe, por favor. Excuse me, please. So yeah, disculpe, por favor. Disculpa, por favor. Yeah, if you're talking to some teenager, disculpa, the familiar one, might be okay. Yeah, because teenagers expect to be called that way by older folks, by adults. Then, por favor, I would often pair up por favor with disculpa, especially if I'm in a store. You know, I need help finding something that I cannot find. Disculpe, por favor, busco un regalo especial y necesito ayuda. Excuse me, I'm looking for a special gift. I need some help. Disculpe, por favor. Sí, por favor. Yeah, it never hurts. It's never over the top to say por favor.
Gracias.
But, you know, if you're just getting through a crowd, perdón is okay.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're saying excuse me, as in I'm standing up like at a meeting, you have to get up to go to the bathroom. You have to get up because your phone is ringing. You need to call away from the meeting, something like that. Just con permiso. Con permiso, with permission, con permiso. Con permiso, yeah. Con permiso, with permiso, permission, with permission. Con permiso is what people use to say, excuse me, when you get up to leave, you're at the table and, you're getting up to use the restroom. You're at a table at a meeting and you have to take a call, but it's private and you don't want to bother the meeting. That's what people use when they have to get up, walk out, to do whatever business you do, and then they're coming back. Con permiso, they kind of know, oh, you're coming back. You're excusing yourself, but you're coming back. Yeah,
a comment question, Marilyn. I found her Spanish very easy to understand. Is she an English speaker or a Spanish speaker originally?
Es nativa, sí. Es hispanohablante. She is a Spanish speaker. She is from Argentina, but she does not have, she is not from Buenos Aires. So you don't hear that je thing that you normally hear with Argentines. She is from northwest of, a little bit west, north of Buenos Aires. So she has a more standard Latin American type accent. Even within Argentina, you don't get the same dialect kind of accent from one speaker to another. She also teaches formal lessons. So she purposely tries to slow down to make it easier for folks to understand. Although depending on your level, you may find her still kind of uncomfortably fast, maybe. Depende, kind of depends, no? Bien. So, okay, otra pregunta. Any other question about that? No, okay. Bien, fantástico. Vamos a practicar. Let's do some warm-up easy stuff before we do the harder stuff. Okay. Vale, algo todo juntos, everything, something all together. And we're going to combine a few different kinds of commands here. Imperativo. Oh, and they tell us we've got an usted, and ustedes, and ustedes, and usted. So we're going to have usted and ustedes in this top half. That's it, right? These use opposite vowel, right? AR verbs get the e, not as. ERIR verbs get the a ending, not the e ending. So if we're using traer, bring the food, okay? And we want to use traer. It's usted. ¿Cómo se dice bring the food? And it's an usted command here.
Traiga.
Traiga. Traiga usted la comida. Would you always use the usted? Not necessarily, no, but they have it there because you need the prompt for which you are you using, okay? So people will probably drop that word usted here speaking. Don't smoke here, please. And we are going to give it as a, hey, you guys don't smoke here. No.
Fumen.
Fumen.
No fumen aquí, por favor. Don't smoke here. Oh, go with her. This is one of those dishes.
Vayan.
And we need
Vayan.
for one person, but you guys is vayan. Vayan con ellas. Vayan con ellas. And usually they will not include that ustedes. That's just there as your prompt. Vayan con ella, go with her. Okay, go with her. Stir the rice. Agitar is one verb. There are a few. It's one verb for stir. And we need this one for usted. Usted. Agitar. Agite el arroz. And don't buy that. Oh, we want this for ustedes, more than one you. No compren esa casa. Don't buy that house. Yeah. Sí.
Una pregunta. I'm looking over my notes from last week, and of course, I haven't thought Spanish for a whole week. But I was thinking this bias was with a negative command only, for the number 3. I thought I've got written here negative commands are the dishes, but this is a positive.
Right.
Have I got my notes wrong somehow?
Okay. For usted and ustedes commands, okay, for usted and for ustedes, whatever verb is irregular in dishes, it'll be that way for affirmative and for negative. Usted and ustedes commands use the exact same thing always for go do it commands and for don't do it commands. There's no difference between the verb itself if it's an usted command, if it's an ustedes command.
Okay.
So the verbs that are irregular for usted and ustedes will be dar, right?
Right.
De or den. They'll be ir, vaya or vayan, right? They'll be ser, sea or sean, right? A ver, but that's like another story. So we'll do that later. That's not really a command, right? Estar, este or estén, right? And saber, which again won't usually be a command, but sepa, sepan. Okay, yeah. Usted and ustedes, the commands are always the same. So the ones that are irregular in that dishes mnemonic device, they'll be used for go do it and don't do it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But the 2 commands are different.
Tu is the oddball one.
Okay.
Tu is the oddball one. Okay. And here we're going to look at, we're going to create tu commands down here. Tu es un problema.
Okay. Well, let's continue on then.
Tu uses one verb to say, go do it. It uses a very different command to say, don't do it, right? The don't do it command for tu looks like usted, ustedes. We just have the S on the end.
Okay.
Which tells you it's a tu, right? But the affirmative will be just like it'll be just like the tu verb without the S on the end. We get rid of the S for an affirmative tu command. All right, unless it's in the irregular category, and the irregulars are different between the usted, ustedes, and the tú. They're different, okay? It's the Vin Diesel thing. Vin Diesel has some weapons, eh? Okay, speak more slowly. It's going to be one of these.
Habléis.
Place.
Habléis.
These are all tú. And
Habla.
this is a yes, do
Habla.
it.
Habla.
Habla, right? Instead of hablas with an S at the end, we get rid of the S. Habla.
Okay. Yeah.
Nada más. Bien? Okay, because it's a yes, go do it. Habla. Just get rid of the S, okay? Uh-oh. Don't begin now. Don't begin now. Uy, difícil. This one's a hard. It's a don't. It's a don't. That means it's going to look like an usted
No
command.
comienzas.
No, and comenzar is an AR verb.
No comiences.
No comiences. No comiences. Negative to command looks like usted. Comience would be for usted. We slap the S back on for no comiences. No comiences ahora. Oh, come here. This one's very irregular.
Ven acá.
Ven.
Ven
If
acá.
you learn no other to command, do know this ven. Yeah, because people often are doing this. Yeah, ven acá. Come here, right? Ven is the familiar come here. The formal come here is venga. Venga, because it starts with vengo, drop the o, opposite vowel. Venga. To a whole group of people, come over here, vengan. Right? But for tú, ven. Ven aquí. So if you're talking to a teenager or a little kid, it might be ven acá. Okay? Yeah. Don't drink the water. And again, this is a tú. Don't drink the water.
Bebas.
No bebas. No bebas el agua. Don't drink the water. No bebas el agua. Okay? Something wrong with it. There we go. Up. Clean the kitchen. Oh, it's a yes,
Limpia.
go do it.
Limpia.
Yeah.
Limpia. We just get rid of the S. Limpia la cocina. Bien, bien, bien. Oh, come here.
Ven aquí.
Ben aquí.
Ben
You
aquí.
might hear it expressed as ben aquí or ben acá. Yeah, it might be either way. Okay. Oh, be kind. Amable.
Sé amable.
Say, right?
Sé.
Yeah. Vin Diesel has some weapons, eh? Yeah, say. You're not as likely to use that command as a traveler, I don't think, but yeah, there you go. Okay, set the table. We're using poner. And as a pon, this is one of the irregular ones. Pon.
Con mesa.
Pon la mesa, set the table. Pon la mesa. Okay. Ooh, do what I tell you. This is kind of strong.
Hagas.
As. This is one of the, yeah. Okay. As. And notice we've got a lo que. We'll talk about that lo que in a minute. Well, actually, much later. But notice that is a lo que. All right. That lo que has to hang together. It is not quite the same thing as a lo. Haz lo que te digo. Do what I tell you. Do what I tell you. If that were a formal command, it would be haga.
Haz lo que te
Haga
digo.
lo que te digo.
What I tell you.
Haga lo que te digo. If I were talking to a group of people, it would be hagan. Hagan lo que te digo. Or well, then it wouldn't be te. Hagan lo que les digo. Haga lo que le digo. Okay, bien. Okay, don't say anything. Ooh. It's a no, don't.
Digas.
No,
It's
diga.
a tú.
Digas.
No digas.
No digas
No
nada.
digas nada.
nada.
No digas
digas
nada.
nada.
Don't say anything. No digas nada. See? All right. If it were say something, dime, tell me. Yeah, tell me.
Dime.
Dime, tell me. But no digas, no digas. Do know that commands in Spanish, especially I think in Mexico, are kind of strong. I mean, it is literally you're giving an order. You're telling somebody to do something. Okay. So we want to always, when we give a command, do it. I know you don't see the por favor here in these exercises, but it is a good idea to tag on those por favors because especially in Mexico, commands are kind of a strong thing. It does sound kind of bossy in a way, a little bit, un poquito, just a bit. So, you know, that's something to be mindful of. But sometimes we do need to use them, and you will hear them. You will hear them. Yeah. Okay. A ver. Boom, 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 boom. Bien. Vale. Okay. Let's take a little look. I'm going to have you guys maybe work in some smaller groups with this. So we're going to preview what because you'll be seeing the screen when you go into your groups. And these will be brief and then come back, brief and then come back. These won't be long speaking things because commands are kind of fast. They happen fast, right? Going to preview affirmative commands you would need for these verbs and see if you can use a tú form, an usted form, and ustedes form, okay? And we're going to kind of review what we did last week, okay? In some cases, you may be tagging on some kind of little pronoun. So here's our extra item. There may be, once you see the picture taken away, the reveal, you may see a need for adding a pronoun to the command. If it's a yes, go do it command with a pronoun, with an it, with a them, you know, with a him, with a her, then you need a pronoun. And with a yes, go do it command, you have to attach that pronoun to the end of the command. It will be the little caboose on the end of the train, okay? So we get things like, take the shot, el trago, un trago, a shot, right? Tómelo, tómenlo, tómalo, right? Here's our usted form, tómelo. Here's our, hey, you guys, take it, tómenlo. Here's our friendly to a buddy, tómalo, take it, yeah? And we wouldn't use a por favor here. You're offering something to somebody, right? So if you're giving them a drink, you're not going to say, please. Yeah, this one's not asking for a favor, saying, hey, take this drink. Yeah, have a little drinky poo. Okay, yeah. Same thing with this. You wouldn't really want a por favor here. Cómalos, there's your usted. Cómanlos, eat them, right? Cómelos, there, to a friend in a friendly way. So I want you to try the usted command, the ustedes command, the tú friendly command, right? Come back. That can't use a pronoun. So it's vuelva for usted, vuelvan for, hey, you guys, come back, right? Come on back. And vuelve in a friendly way, right? Pay. And if the idea is you're paying this guy, he's not the thing you're buying, you're giving the money to him. And the to him is not a lo, It's a le, right? So pay him is páguele,
Páguele.
right? And if we tag it on to the end here, it's páguenle. And I'll add my little accent mark when you're saying it, of course. You don't have to say an accent mark. And págale, págale. Pay him in a friendly command. Págale, right? Págale, páguenle, págale, right? Tell them. If you're telling a couple of people, right? Let's make it a couple here. We need that little les, right? And for
Would that be dígales?
dígales for ustedes, right? I have them kind of out of order here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have them in the same order. Let's get them in order so it's not as confusing. Bien. Vale, see, let's put them in order so we're consistent there. I don't confuse people. All right. Dígales, tell them. This command you actually hear quite a lot. This diga is, tell me. People, if they're waiting for your order, may even say this, dígame, tell me, right? But tell them becomes dígales for a formal command. For a you guys command, díganles, right? For the familiar, it goes to an irregular because the tú command for decir is just diles, tell them. Okay, bien? Okay, so that's a review of what we did last week. Now you're going to get, you're going to have new item. I'm going to send you off into small groups. And don't think there is not necessarily only one thing that is correct if you're adding a pronoun, right? So we want all three forms of mirar, we want all three forms of fijar, but you're focusing on this reflexive, yeah? Fijarse means to notice or check out. Fijarse is kind of like mirar, but fijarse is literally to fix your attention on something, right? Really take a darn good look here, right? Yeah. Whereas mirar is just, hey, look. So you're saying, look at it, or maybe look at them. You might interpret that photo a couple different ways. Check that out. Yeah. Dejar, leave, and we have one item only. Dejar can mean, dejar has many meanings. Dejar, in this case, means leave something behind, to put it in a place and walk away from it. You're leaving it there, right? Dar means to give. So we're giving these items and bring it. Okay. So, you are going to see those little pictures. See if you can use an usted command, an ustedes command, a tú command when you go into your little groups. Okay, a ver. And I think I'm only going to give you maybe 3 minutes because eso es todo. That's really probably all you need. Vamos a ver, ¿no? Bien. Okay. And Jan, if we have Jan with us, don't go into a group. She wasn't feeling all that chipper with her voice. Bien. I will send this into your groups. When you hit the join button, you will see that share screen. Bien, ok, vale. 3 minutos, just 3 minutes. Okay. I decided I need to give people a little more time, un poquito más. Okay. Vamos a cerrar los cuartos. We're going to close our rooms now. Okay. Bien.
I got it.
Vale. Bueno, okay. Vamos a ver. And you may have some questions or maybe not. Let's see what you came up with. and keep in mind, sometimes that little useful word lo, just meaning it, in a really general way is okay. Yeah, see, okay. Let's look at all three of our different commands for a look. And let's not worry about the pronoun yet. ¿Cómo se dice look? For usted.
Mire.
Mire, okay. Ustedes. Miren. Tú. Mira. Wow. As a tourist, you will hear this a lot. If you're with a tour group, or even if you're not with a tour group, somebody is like giving you directions, right? And they're saying, oh, look at that. Yeah. They'll use this word. Okay. Miren, mira. Okay. Those are all commands. And if you're looking, si vas a mirar la foto aquí, if you're looking at this photograph, you may interpret it different ways. You may say, look at
Las montañas.
You may think las montañas. If you're thinking las montañas, yeah. Mírelas. Mírelas. If you're thinking las montañas, the pronoun will be las. See? Las, and those would all need accent marks, right? If I'm writing them in, that's why it's prompting me there. Bien. Míralas, mírenlas, mírelas. See? Bien. If you're just saying, look at it, meaning everything. Yeah? Yeah, what you're standing at the top and you're looking out over this vast expanse, and you just mean look at the view, look at everything. You might just use the pronoun lo. Mírelo. Wow, look at it. Meaning that whole thing. Yeah, lo is a nice overall catch-all for the whole thing. Mírelo. So could be lo. You would never have a le in there.
Míralo.
Never.
Pregunta.
Sí, sí.
So if you were just to say, look at the mountains, would you be three separate words? Mire las
Mire
montañas?
las montañas. Mire las bonitas montañas. Look at those pretty
Okay.
mountains. Sí.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
the-
if you're at a concert and Elton John comes out with this outlandish outfit, you could say Mirale, right?
No. No.
Míralo.
Míralo. Míralo. Wow. Look at him. Look at it. Look at that
Okay.
thing. Mírelo. Yeah.
Okay.
Sí. Yeah, you're likely just hear really generic lo in that
Okay.
situation. Yeah. Okay. Fijarse is fijarse is more like that, you know, notice or check it out or ooh, really examine it and examine it carefully. Yeah. Fijarse is a little more you're looking, wow, you're fixing your gaze on something, you're contemplating it as you're looking at. And we're just going to use the se part first here, the se part. Okay. It's a reflexive. So an usted command will be
Fíjese.
Fijarse.
Fíjese.
fíjese. Fíjese. En ustedes command,
Fíjese.
fíjense. A tu command, we don't use a se for that. We need to go back to te. It's
Fíjate.
fíjate,
Fíjate.
fíjate. If somebody gives that as a command, they're saying really pay attention here. Yeah, look very closely. Not just mira, look, but yeah. Ooh, fíjate. Check this out. Look at this very carefully. Fíjate, fíjate, fíjense, fíjense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, if you were saying like the cloud, because it's one big cloud.
Mhm.
La nube. If you were talking about la nube, you're saying, ooh, check out that one cloud because there's a great big lightning bolt in it, right? La nube would be turn into a la, right? Fíjesela. Fíjesela. Fíjatela. Fíjatela. Look at it. If you're talking about la nube. Okay. Okay. Here we got something more obvious, right? You might be thinking of this as the word la caja, box, or el paquete, the package, in which case you might use a lo, you might use a la, right? Leave it. ¿Cómo se dice leave it? Just the verb part, just the command. Usted.
Deje.
Deje. Bien. Deje. Okay. Ustedes.
Dejen.
Dejen. Dejen. And a tu form is
Deja.
deja. Deja. You know, some teenage kid is leaving the package. You say, oh, just leave it there. Yeah, he may expect you to use a tu command if he's 15, 16, and he won't think anything of it. But now we want an it.
Lo.
Lo. If you're thinking paquete, it would be lo. And that's fine. Déjelo. What will we do with the dejen?
Déjenlo.
Déjenlo. Right? Y con esto sí, déjalo. Déjalo. Bien? Déjalo. And that little accent when it's written, just so you know, that has to be written in there because when I tag on a pronoun, I am tagging on another syllable. And with Spanish, we always, the last syllable, the vowel, if it ends in a vowel, we punch the second to last syllable, but we really want that command to sound like it sounded before we tagged on the extra syllable. So that's why they add an accent mark. We want that word to follow, its main purpose is to act as a verb, a command. And we always want that command to sound like deje, deje, or dejen, or deja. So once we start tagging on extra syllables, we often need an accent mark there to indicate that. In writing, in speaking, it does not matter. Okay. Give keys. El verbo, solamente el verbo, just the verb, solamente el mandato. Give, usted.
De.
De. Con acento. Aquí sí es importante. It's important here if it's written, right? But again, speaking, it doesn't matter. De. Okay, ustedes.
Then.
Then this is part of those dishes things. And informal, tú.
Da.
Da.
He. Go
Da.
da.
Yeah. Sí.
Da.
Da. Yeah. Da. Muy normal. Yeah. Das. Yeah, this is not part of Ben Diesel has ten weapons. Yeah, dar is a very normal command in Spanish. And this is a verb that is very, very common in spoken conversational Spanish. This command is very, very frequently used. So if we're talking about las llaves, what do we need?
Las. De las.
De las. Sí, de las. Denlas. There we don't need actually the written accent mark. Or
Las.
Dallas. Okay. ¿Cómo se dice? Give them to me. Give them to me. Now I need yet another pronoun. Give them to me.
Demas.
Demelas.
Demelas. Because the human being, the me, always comes first. Demelas. Demelas. Hey, you guys, give them to me. Demelas. See? Bien. Okay. The tu command. Dámelas. Perdón, I need a las there. We.
Dámelas.
Sí, dámelas, dámelas. Okay. Oh, I know why it's not doing that, because my picture is covering it up. There we go. Aquí vamos. Here we go. Okay. Bien, 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 bien. Okay. A ver. This verb dar is a verb that you hear quite a lot as a command. Here is why. If you're in a line at a food truck, or if you belly up to the bar, if you go up to the counter and you're ordering a coffee, you're not sitting at a table. I might use this with a waiter too, actually, in a sitting down situation. This dar verb is frequently used to order something, especially if you're in a quick ordering situation. Okay, you could use it with a waiter also, but then I would use a por favor. Yeah. So this dar verb is used a lot in ordering drinks and food, right? Sí. Algo aquí. Ok. Traer. Bueno, ¿cómo se dice? La forma de usted.
Traiga.
Traiga. Again, these are verbs that you will use in waiter-oriented restaurant. Yeah. Traigan. Y tú.
Trae.
Trae.
Oh.
Trae. Simplemente trae. Just trae. Okay. Bring it.
Will you explain how you get to the try again?
Yeah. Trae is an affirmative to command. That means we take the to form in present, traes, with an S at the end. We get rid of the S.
Okay.
Boom. Trae. Sí. See, bring. And of course, this is when somebody's actually going to walk over and bring you something. We use this with a bill too. Traiga la cuenta, sí? Tráigala, bring it, right? If it's la cuenta, tráigala. Okay, traiga la cuenta. Because you're asking them to walk it over to you. Okay. ¿Cómo se dice bring it? And what we're looking at is or what we're thinking about is a glass of water.
Track a lot, low.
Low.
It could be a lo or a la, yeah, but probably if you're thinking un vaso de agua, a glass of water, it'll be a lo. Yeah? Tráigalo, necesita la a aquí, tráigalo. Hey, you guys, bring it. Tráiganlo. Bien. You don't need to worry about the accent mark. Bring it. You say to that teenager.
Tráelo.
Tráelo. Perdón. Tráelo. Okay, bien. Bueno, okay. I'm going to preguntar, because you're going to get a fresh set of these to practice again. Do you have any question before we go off and do the next set? Hay alguna pregunta?
I think we need more time.
We need more time, more than 5 minutes?
5 minutes is probably better than.
Okay.
Give us a minute or so more than you gave bullet.
Yeah.
Okay, so more time. Okay.
We're slow.
No. Está bien. That's okay. It does take time. Okay. Aquí. Es una prevista. This is a preview. So here's what we're going to be using next. Oh. Bien. And you can talk about either person there. Seguir. Ooh, this one is a very, very tricky one. I'm going to put the yo form in here for you. Ooh, because this one is very tricky, yet you will hear it a ton. So I want you to know the yo form first before you go off. So whenever somebody says, follow or keep going, okay? And in this way, it's gonna really mean follow, yeah? And what we want you to focus on, because seguir can also mean to keep on going, yeah? So if somebody tells you keep going 5 blocks, they're gonna use that command, right? But we want a follow me, because he's pointing to himself, and a follow her. We want a follow me and a follow her. ¿Entienden? ¿Sí? Here we want a follow me and a follow her. A follow me and a follow her command.
Dale.
Okay? Bien. Guardar means to keep. You put it away so that you can take it out later, right? Okay?
Is that a regular verb? Is that a regular verb?
Guardar, sí, es regular.
Okay.
Perfectamente regular. Buena pregunta, sí. Seguir es muy irregular. Seguir is very irregular. Guardar, muy regular. Guardar. Keep them. We've got a bunch of things here. Put them. A bunch of things here. Buy. Ooh. Ooh, I'm going to let you think about what you use there. I will give you more than about 3 minutes here. I'm going to give you a good healthy 5, 6, 7 minutes, maybe 7. Yeah. We want an usted command. We want an ustedes command. We want a tú command. Notice we don't have any no's here. We just have do it here. We just have affirmative commands here. Okay. Y más tiempo, and you will see those pictures when you go into your rooms. Okay, bien. Okay, vale. And now I need to go in and peg that into your breakout rooms.
Then you're going to have to be quiet, okay?
Yeah. Okay, vale. Vale, okay. Por lo menos 5 minutos. Es difícil, ¿sí? Tengo que ver mi reloj otra vez, una y otra vez. I need to keep checking out my watch. Make sure I track that time. Okay, we hit the 5-minute mark, but I think I'm gonna give people an extra couple minutes because I kind of cut them off at the knees last time. It was too short, so we'll make sure everybody's got plenty of time. Okay, a ver. Vamos a ver, we'll close our rooms. And when we close the rooms, with our close the room button, it gives them a minute to finish up, wrap up, and come on back. Excelente. Ah, fue mejor. Was it better?
Mucho mejor.
Mucho mejor. Okay.
Mucho mejor.
Vale, magnífico. Okay. Me alegro. I am glad.
We decided
Okay.
the dog doesn't care which form you use.
Okay. A ver. Okay. And we'll see. what we-
I'm gonna stick to the aesthetics commands, because those you can do.
Well, and you know, for a visitor, it is often more appropriate in that situation, right? But it's always, you know, it's kind of a guessing game in a way, because sometimes if you're with a particular person or you keep seeing the same person, like in a store, if it's a mom and pop kind of store and you keep seeing the same people over and over again, and you're staying someplace for 2 weeks, you know, they will slip into two form with you sometimes because they're being friendly. So that happens. That happens quite frequently.
Our group decided that if we were going to go somewhere where it's Spanish speaking, that we wouldn't bother with the two form because nobody knows us anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, pero depende. It does depend, and it's you know, there are times when people get, if you keep seeing the same people over and over again, or if you're in a particular group, they want to slip into that familiar form. So and it becomes a friendly thing. Okay, vale. Bueno, vamos a ver. Let's take a look at our seguir, our hard one, Follow. Follow, just the command itself is usted.
Sigue.
Yeah.
Siga. Siga. Follow. Seguir is this is one of the hardest ones to do because it has that I stem change, like pedir, like servir. Yeah. And we got that GUI complication thing, right? But sigo is the yo form. So that's what we have to base a command on. Sigo. So it gets opposite vowel. It's an I verb. It gets an a form for usted. Siga. And if it's, hey, you guys follow, it's sigan. And if it's, hey, you kid, it's
Siga.
sigue.
That's the
Sigue. Ooh, UE. So this is the tough one. Not really so tough to pronounce. Yeah, but yeah, if you think of the spelling of it, it is a little bit complicated. Yeah. So siga, sigan, sigue, sigue. And we always have that stem change. It's there, even though it comes from seguir. So this was the tough one, right? But again, this is a verb that is used quite a lot in directional commands. If you say follow or keep going a certain way, this is the verb people will use. So follow me is, let's look at the me part. Follow me is
Sígame.
sígame. Sígame. Sígame to one person. Perdón. Sígame. But if it's a tour guide and he's talking to the whole group, it'll become síganme. Síganme, por favor. Síganme, por favor. Follow me, please. They're leading you through a museum or they're going through a plaza and, you know, you're going to walk half a block to show you the next item. Síganme, síganme. Y el mandato familiar es sígueme, sígueme. ¿Sí?
Sígueme.
Sígueme. Sígueme. Okay. So follow me. Oh, what if you want to say, hey, follow her?
Sigala.
Sigala.
It could be la in this case, but you'll often hear it this way. Yeah, but just know, yeah, you could say sigala, sigale. Yeah. Okay.
You could say that again. Why wouldn't it always be if it's follow her? Why would it be?
Well, sigala, follow her, yes. For reasons that I don't even know how to explain this, but quite frequently you hear it as sigale. Quite often you hear it as le. You just
For either gender, you just
and then it would be
okay.
either gender, right? But
So
sigala is okay, and somebody would totally understand you with sigala. Follow her.
Is
Absolutely.
sigale, is that indirect? Is that an indirect?
Yeah, it is kind of indirect. Yeah. See, yeah. Because, well, anyway, just know you may hear it as la, you may hear it as le. No importa, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but sígale. Okay. And again, you know, often you'll hear this again when you're with a group and you're on a guided kind of tour. You know, it's just how you will hear it. Oh, keep them. Keep them. Guardar, guardar. First, let's get just the guardar. Usted will be guarde. For you guys, it'll be guarden. For the guarda, okay? Keep them. And we're talking about tickets. I would think of these as las entradas. These are tickets to get into a concert. And las entradas is a word we frequently use for tickets to get into a venue. So las guardelas, and we punch that sound more. Guárdenlas, bien, or guárdalas, ¿sí? Bien, guárdenlas. Okay, vale, magnífico. Poner. And we're looking at maletas, right? Or you might be thinking of it as a whole group of things. El equipaje. You might be looking at that picture and think las maletas. You might look at that picture and think el equipaje. So there might be a couple of responses that are appropriate. Let's look at just como se dice put. Poner, usted.
Ponga.
Ustedes command becomes
Pongan.
and the familiar one is just pon.
Okay.
The shorty one, yeah. Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. Pun. Okay, so if you're thinking maletas, suitcases, it becomes
Póngalas.
póngalas. Póngalas. Oh. Póngalas. Póngalas, right? See?
See?
Así. Now, if you're thinking equipaje, it could become lo. Equipaje talks about all the luggage all together. Luggage. El equipaje. If you're thinking el equipaje, it could be lo. Now, and somebody, if they're just looking at it, they might flip out either word, right? Pónganlo, they're thinking equipaje. Pónganlas, they're thinking las maletas. Bien, okay. You might be saying buy it or buy them. Let's look at the just buy part. Comprar becomes
Compre.
compre, sí. Compre, ustedes compren. Tú compra. Bien, sí. Entonces, how do we tag on a little pronoun?
Depends on what you want.
Depends on what you want. Okay, so tell me what you want.
Las chocolates o compre las.
Los chocolates. If it's, sí. Los chocolates, los caramelos, los dulces. If you're thinking them, like all of the chocolates, cómprelos. Los chocolates son los chocolates.
They don't know what it
Cómprelos, cómprenlos, cómpralos. Sí, cómprenlos, cómpralos, buy them. Sí, okay. We're going to add one little extra thing to this. I want to say, buy them for me. Buy them for me.
Cómprelos.
Cómpremelos. The human being always comes first. Cómpremelos. Cómpremelos. Cómpramelos. See? Bien.
Is that kind of a box a caja, or is that a different name for that box?
Una cajita, a little box. Sí. If you're thinking la caja, cómprela. Cómprenla. Cómprala.
If you were just talking about the box, would it be comprelo rather than las?
If it's box, it's la caja. And then it's la.
La. Okay.
Sí.
So I want to buy that box or a box or okay, compra.
Well, buy it, sí. La compra. Sí, sí. Sí, bien. And if you're pointing, if you want to, wrap it, you tell the person, wrap it, see, envuélvelo, wrap it. It is often okay if you're saying it in a very general way to just leave it as the lo. It can be okay to do that. It can be okay to do that. Okay, bien. Okay, vale. Got a little better handle on how to tag those on the end. See? Un poquito mejor, a little better?
Little bit.
Un poquito mejor, okay. What I want to do, because we've got 2 more sessions left, what I want to do next is to kind of show how some of these commands are very related to something we call subjunctive. And you may hear these things and you may be thinking, oh boy, that's odd. They're giving a command in this context, but it really is not a command, but rather a subjunctive. So I can't think off the top of my head which video does it. I know there's one good video that does that. But in a nutshell, the short answer is this, is that sometimes you will hear the word que with something that sounds like a command, like these things. And it will mean that somebody is wishing that you feel better, hoping that you have a good time. Once you know commands, you will often start to notice that people will throw out little things that really mean have a good day. And what they really mean is, I hope that you have a good day. And the you have a good day is going to sound exactly like these commands because it is the same form. The subjunctives form the same as those usted and ustedes commands. And so often you'll hear something, you'll think that sounds like a command, but why are they giving it as a command? What they're saying is, I hope that you have a good day. I hope that you enjoy your meal. I hope that you feel better. I hope that it improves. Okay. And what I want you to get used to is when you hear these little things that sometimes sound like commands, what they really are is subjunctive. And it means that I am imposing a desire I have on somebody else. Okay. That's all it means. So you are going to hear things that sound like commands because they are formed exactly like commands are formed. They're formed in exactly the same way, but it'll have a slightly different meaning. So I'm going to send you a little video to listen for that. I'm also going to send you a little game-oriented video. It is a guessing game video. It's kind of long. So it's good for listening comprehension. It's very good for listening comprehension. It stays in present tense. And what I want you to prepare for next week, I'll explain a little more about the subjunctive thing next week, but I also want you to come prepared with a guessing game person, a guessing game topic. And you will see from the video what it is. You're going to pick a famous person, and it can be, it's wide open. It can be anybody. And we're going to play some games where it'll be almost like a 20-question thing, except we're not really limited to 20 questions. You're going to, and listen for how they ask the questions, because they're going to try to, you know, narrow it down pretty quick. They're going to ask things like, is it an imaginary person or a real person? Where you get like a 50-50 answer that narrows it down. Is your mystery person a man or a woman? So 50 narrows it down to 50-50, right? So I want you to bring your mystery person for people to guess. And the rest of us will have to ask the questions to try to figure out who that person is. Makes sense? See, you'll see in the video how they do it. Yeah, see? Bien. But I don't think I'm going to put it into a small group thing. I think we're going to all kind of feed off each other for this. Yeah, see? Or maybe we'll give people a turn. We'll see how we'll do that. But watch the video and you'll see how it whittles down. Okay? Bien? ¿Todo bien? All good? Excelente, muy bien. Eso es todo. That's it then for today. Fantastico. So bring a mystery person. People have to guess who it is. And there we go. Okay. Muy bien, muy bien. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias.